What it do? What it do? It's your man B-Soul513 and I'm back again. Listen, y'all, I'm just gonna go ahead and just get right into it. You know what I mean? We're gonna get these reviews. So obviously, first pick in the draft, not a surprise. Bryce Young, I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think he's gonna be a great player. Pretty much, I feel like Carolina, y'all got a franchise quarterback. I feel the same way about CJ Stroud. I really feel like you couldn't go wrong with any quarterback, any one of those two quarterbacks in this year's draft. I feel like they were both can't-miss prospects. I know a lot of people want to talk about Drake May and Caleb Williams, or Caleb, his last name Williams? I'm not sure. I'm freestyling on top of my head. You know what I'm talking about. Caleb from USC. A lot of pundits, a lot of ESPN analysts and internet draft gurus say that next year's quarterback class is going to be better. I feel like you couldn't go wrong with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. I really don't. And then look, the Texas one, they got Will Anderson Jr. I hope he can provide what Mario Williams did for them in the early to mid 2000s. Anthony Richardson, honestly, is not a traditional Indianapolis Colts type of quarterback. Usually they have a traditional 6'4", 6'5" drop back quarterback. So with Shane Steichen coming from the Eagles, makes perfect sense. He knows what to do with an athletic quarterback. So I'm excited to see what his career does. Obviously, the Seahawks getting Devin Witherspoon. I mean, that's dope. You got Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant. Hopefully you got Adams coming back in the back end, and you might have yourself the new age Legion of Boom. So that was a great pick by Seattle. I actually thought they was going to kind of go for a longer arm cornerback, taller cornerback, but I just think that's pretty dope, man. They got Pete Carroll. He's doing it again. I love that the Cardinals finally got Kyler Murray, some offensive line help, and Paris Johnson. Shouts out to the Cincinnati kid. It's B-Soul513. So, man, I'm happy for the Cardinals to make that move and for them to acquire assets, because that was the way that, obviously y'all know, that's how the Texans got that pick. So, shout out to them. Tyree Wilson, I don't know. To me, he reminds me a lot of Trayvon Walker. Big body kid with a lot of athletic intangibles, but I really ain't get a chance to deep dive into his game, but I hope he has a great career. That'd be good for them because they got Max Crosby. So to, add help on the other side, I mean, that'll be good for them because they got to deal with Patrick Mahomes twice a year. The Falcons, that was a shocker to me, but I honestly feel like that's a great pickup for them because we know that they were like top 5, top 10 in the league in rushing. They're a physical team. They like to run the ball. So with Algier, now you got Bijan. Desmond Ridder get a chance to be the starting quarterback. He's mobile as well. They got a lot of big body pass catching targets, with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and so Jonnu Smith, and they got some other big bodies as well. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I know it's just round one, so I'm actually excited to see what the Falcons do the rest of the draft because we know that they address defense and free agency as well. So that was a great pick, in my opinion, by the Falcons based on how they want to run the offense. And then the Eagles getting Jalen Carter. I mean, it's like damn near cheating at this point that we keep allowing the Eagles to get the best trench players from Georgia in back-to-back drafts, and they just was in the Super Bowl. So shout out to the Eagles organization, front office, for being able to will and deal every year and paying their franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? I'm proud of the Eagles. They doing a fucking job as an organization. As a Bengals fan, much respect to y'all. And then the Bears taking Darnell Wright. I know a lot of my Bengals fans and I guess other fans of the NFL as well. These like these YouTubers who do mock drafts and all of that stuff. They got a platform. A lot of people thought that Darnell Wright would fall to the 20s, but that just let you know that and everybody thought Darnell Wright was a beast, right? So I just think it makes perfect sense that the Bears went after him, considering the fact that Braxton Jones, I believe his name is, or something Braxton something, and they got the left tackle last year in the fifth or sixth round. He was a late round gem, and they found their franchise left tackle. So it makes perfect sense to go ahead and bring in a right tackle, the consensus best right tackle, plug and play player in the draft. Protect Justin Fields. They added weapons to him. I love what they're doing. Brian Post, salute to y'all, what y'all doing up in Chicago, man. I love it. 11 pick in the draft, Peter Skoronski, a.k.a. Peter Sko. That's my nickname for him. I know the Titans need help on that offensive line, so I'm pretty sure they'll find a spot for him. You can call it a good pick. 12th pick, I love it. Jahmyr Gibbs, because I would have thought Bijan would have been a great pick for the Lions, but obviously he got picked up earlier. So just seeing him go to Detroit, man, I think that's perfect for the offense. If anybody knows anything about Detroit, they got one of the best offensive lines in football. And they haven't had a speedster at running back probably since Reggie Bush was there, right? Since Reggie, and that's about almost 10 years now. I feel like when Reggie Bush was there, he was like their last fast speed running back. Like, Javid Best, but he couldn't stay healthy. So this is gonna be the closest thing they had to like a Barry Sanders type of running back. I think it's gonna be freaking great, man. Obviously, it's kind of tough what happened to with Jameson Williams out here gambling, playing on FanDuel and DraftKings like he not an NFL player, but that is what it is. They got them a special running back to go along with David Montgomery. Now they got two. You got your bell cow. You got your thunder and lightning, right? You got your cliche, cookies and milk, type of game. So I love it. They complement each other well. Who we got next? As my phone decided to reset itself, we're going to keep flowing. We were just at pick 12. So now we going to, where we at? Okay, yeah, Lucas Van Ness. I thought that was a great pick. Green Bay, salute to y'all. He feels like he should play for the Packers. Coming from Iowa, now he's going to Green Bay. It just seems like it's a perfect mix for him. Match. And salute to Green Bay. Hopefully he could be the next J.J. Watt. Who knows? Steelers went ahead and got Broderick Jones from Georgia. They traded up with the Patriots. I thought that was a great move. You have to protect your quarterback. I like Kenny Pickett. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's going to be a very good player. I'm excited to see how he grows. Obviously, I'm a Bengals fan, so when we play him, hoping we can keep that growth at a minimum. But salute to Pittsburgh. That was a hell of a pick. You got to protect your goods. I guess some people would call it a shocker and Will McDonald out of Iowa State. But I think you can't call it a shocker because, the things that he was asked to do at Iowa State is probably not going to be necessarily what he's going to be asked to do in New York. People forget that a lot of these college players be in these college defensive schemes that don't necessarily translate to what they're going to be. Like he was undersized, asked to do something else in college, and now he's going to get a chance to really probably use his athleticism to get after the quarterback, which is really his calling card, in my opinion. So I think that's a great pick. And then they got Quentin Williams. Hopefully they can re-sign him. Carl Lawson. And then they got the kid from Florida State they drafted. So they're trying to attack the quarterback. So I salute what they're doing. Another shocker is Emmanuel Forbes with the 16th pick to the Commanders. I'm excited. I think this is a great pick. I know the Bengals community fan base on social media really was hounding this kid. But, I just thought that he wasn't a fit. I don't say if he wasn't a fit. I just wasn't to hound him because to me, he's not really a man-to-man type of guy. I like a guy that can do more, but I think he's elite in what he does, which is zone. And I think that him going to the Commanders is actually the perfect spot. You got to think the Commanders tried to have William Jackson, who was a former Bengals player at cornerback, who was really known to be a man-to-man coverage guy. And it just didn't work out. And Washington, due to the fact that what they want to run on defense, same type of defense that he ran. Speaking of the head coach when he was in Carolina with Josh Norman was good in that zone type scheme. So I just think that Emmanuel Flores is probably the best zone corner in the draft. It's just perfect for that scheme. That defensive line is going to cause hell, and he's going to be back there perfectly where he need to be in zone, reading everything, and possibly getting those same pick sixes that he was getting in college. So I think that's a hell of a pick. That's an A+ pick, man. But I'm gonna give out my grades for all these teams though at the end of the draft. So we got to let it out though. Patriots, I honestly think the Patriots got the best cornerback in the draft. Now I know Devin Witherspoon it's like he's just very physical. I love that. Like, dude, like he seemed like he know how to fight. Like he ready to fight. Because that's how he play. He plays so aggressive. But Christian Gonzalez to me plays so freaking smooth, bro. Like he's like he's playing a cornerback position so eloquently. The way he's just going up for the ball, his ball skills is to me the best. I really think the Patriots, they needed this. They needed this guy because I don't know. Patriots fans know, NFL fans might know unless they pay attention to the Bengals. But when they played against the Bengals, man, and they had Marcus Jones, I believe that's his name, that guy who could play receiver, kick returner, punt returner, the freak athletic, talented guy they got playing corner as well. He just could not stand with T. Higgins was just little boy in him. that whole game. And so they need some size out there. They need some depth out there in New England. And I think it's a great pickup considering they got a great pass rush of those two bookends coming off. So what a hell of a pick. I think this is probably one of the Patriots' best picks in years. Now this pick, Lions, again, Jack Campbell. Got the same name. It's like the same last name as Dan Campbell. Hey, man, I hope Jack Campbell has a great career. I know he had a great, I want to say pro day or combine. He's very athletic. But I don't know, man. It was just a play in particular where he had a chance to tackle Blake Corum against Michigan. And it was like 3rd and 1 or something. And I just felt like he should have made that tackle, honestly. You know what I mean? I feel like Ray Lewis would have made that tackle. I'm not comparing him to Ray Lewis, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's able to correct that in the NFL, because I feel like as good as Blake Corum is, it's probably going to be better running backs you're going to be going against in the NFL that could put better moves. And if you can't make a tackle inside the box like that, inside the phone booth in college, how you going to make it in the NFL? So that's just one play, but it doesn't define his career. I hope he does succeed. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it right now. Number 19, this is an A+ pick. As a Bengals fan, I'm deeply saddened by this pick. You know what I mean? But honestly, I think it's great for the NFL. I think it's great for Tampa. I think you pair Elijah Cansey with Vita Vea. I think you got yourselves a nice combination down there in the trenches. You got your big run-stopping guy that's taking up blocks, and people complain about, Elijah Cansey, he's too small. He can't stop the run. Well, you got a guy who's known for that right there playing next to him and allowing this guy to play the 3 technique. It's actually damn near like having Warren Sapp all over again. Obviously, he's a little bit smaller than Sapp, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Hopefully, they can keep Devin White, and hopefully, adding Elijah Cansey makes that defense just as good as it was when they went to the Super Bowl a few years ago, in my opinion. Once again, yeah, I gotta bear with me, man. My phone decided to go back to the top of the draft, and that's okay. I know he just was at pick 19. So we're going to keep flowing, y'all. We're going to keep flowing. Once again, it's BSO513. I thank all y'all for turning in. Any returning subscribers. If you like the content, go ahead and comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what it is. We got more content in the way. Let's get it. Okay, so pick 20. Yes, Seattle, man. Oh, my goodness. What a great freaking pick by the Seattle Seahawks. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I actually wouldn't have been mad if they went with Quentin Johnston either, for the simple fact that, you got two big boys on the out that can run, and you got Lockett in the inside. But I think having Jackson Smith and Jigba, I feel like he can get the chance in the league to show that he can play the Z and not just the slot. You know what I mean? Be that flanker. You know what I mean? Because obviously Tyler Lockett can play on the out and play on the end. And then obviously with DK Metcalf just being that pure X receiver, I just think it's dope for the NFL. It's dope for Seattle, especially considering the hell what they did with that first round pick, man. I'm so excited to see Geno Smith. He got another weapon. I hope they can address offensive line in the second half. Maybe get a guard, just to shore it up all the way, shore that offensive line all the way up. And obviously they got to shore up that defense some more in the trenches. But that's the A+ pick. I think everybody can say that Seattle walked away with a great draft if they draft ended today. Once again, I just spoke about Quentin Johnston. The Chargers getting Quentin Johnston. I think that's a great pick. You got him on the out with Mike Williams. Obviously, Mike Williams is not a burner, but Mike Williams is one of the best deep ball receivers in the league. One of the best wide receivers to go up and get it. I love Mike Williams. You know what I mean? So I think he's a great receiver. Keenan Allen is obviously one of the best slot receivers in the league, if not the best. And then hopefully he can stay healthy. You get him another big receiver, except this guy's a field stretcher. I think it's going to be great. I'm happy that I want to say San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers are doing everything they can to get him more weapons. They shored up the offensive line these past couple drafts, and so I'm just excited to see what they can do moving forward with the rest of the draft with that defense. They've dealt with a lot of injuries, man. I will say they've dealt with a lot of injuries, but getting Quentin Johnston is a great pickup in my opinion. I can't wait to see what they do in LA. And then this pick right here, pick 22, Baltimore Ravens, one of my division rivals as a Bengals fan. I think this is an A+ pickup, man, considering the fact that they got Odell Beckham, and Rashad Bateman coming back, Isaiah Likely. I think this is a hell of a pickup, man. Zay Flowers is a dog. I actually did a mock draft on the Ravens back in February, and I felt that he should be their draft pick before they signed Odell. So it's almost like I predicted this. He just feels like a Raven. Like, he feels like a Steve Smith type of guy, like a young Steve Smith. I think this is probably the best wide receiver the Ravens have ever drafted in franchise history. I think Rashad Bateman has a chance to prove that, but if Zay Flowers, God willing, stays healthy, he really might get a chance to be the best receiver in Ravens history. And they've never drafted well outside of Bateman, in my opinion, at that position. So, hey, man, salute to Baltimore. And then y'all re-sign Lamar Jackson. I'm a Bengals fan, so it's like, Lord have mercy. And then Jordan Addison, man. I'm excited because Jordan Addison, in my opinion, wasn't a true number one receiver. Okay? That's just my opinion. And I was hoping that he would go to, like, maybe LA or the Vikings. And this is perfect because now he gets to go and play with Justin Jefferson. He doesn't have to be the number one receiver. He gets to play in the dome in an offense that's scripted for wide receivers to get open. So I think this is going to be I think he's really going to be successful. He might have a chance to win Rookie of the Year based on his numbers, based on the type of coverages that's going to be thrown to Justin Jefferson. If they can continue to maybe add another more receiver out, I think if they add another receiver and hopefully that receiver can do something. But I just think even if they don't, like, I just think this is a great pick. Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, Minnesota. That's what we wanted to see. Y'all did a good job. I think that's an A+ draft pick. Obviously, the Giants went ahead and traded up, and they got Deontay Banks. I think that's one of the top cornerbacks in the draft. Obviously, one of the most athletic cornerbacks in the draft. Being in the NFC East, you got to play against the CeeDee Lambs of the world. You got to deal with all of that speed that Washington has at wide receiver. And so you just got to deal with that division, man. It's tough. And Philly, of course, with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. So you got to deal with a lot of receivers in the NFC East. And you got to have somebody that can cover those guys. So I think that's a great pick. Just continue to shore up that defense. Hopefully in this draft they can continue to get some help from Daniel Jones as well. And just continue to build a program that's ready to go for it. And so pick 25, we got the Bills going for Dalton Kincaid. I think this is great, man. I think we're gonna see a lot of 12 personnel. Who knows? I think it's good. We haven't, the two tight end offense was a thing, man, back when Aaron Hernandez, RIP. But I think it's good for the NFL for Buffalo to go ahead and get another tight end. We know they got Dawson Knox, but Dalton Kincaid, that's nice, man. I like that. I can't wait to see how it plays out in real life, man. So it looks good on paper. Shout out to Buffalo. Then the Cowboys go ahead. I guess some people might call it a shocker, but I think Mozzie Smith, in my opinion, was worthy of this draft pick, was worthy of where he got drafted at, because he's a legitimate nose tackle prospect. He's a legitimate run-stopping prospect, probably the best in the draft. He was solid 2 years ago when he played with Aiden Hutchinson and Ojabo. He was solid this year without those guys. He's a solid. I just think he's perfect. He shores up that run stopping. He's going to help allow some of those guys from Dallas to continue to rush, and hopefully they can add some more rushers coming off the edge. But that's a hell of a pickup for Dallas. Salute to them. And then pick 27, Anton Smith. Obviously, the Jaguars lost the offensive lineman to the Chiefs, and then another offensive lineman. I don't know if he got suspended or something like that, but they needed help on the offensive line. You got to protect Trevor Lawrence. And so it's the perfect decision at this point. And then this pick right here is what really, this 28th pick, my Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to be real. Was not a fan of this pick. I'm still not a fan of this pick. And it's no disrespect to him. Obviously, he worked his ass off to get to where he at. So I'm not questioning it. It's not personal. It's just business. And if it was a business, I don't like his game. I don't see it. I just don't see greatness. I feel like Nolan Smith would have been a better pick for the Bengals, or even Brian Brisset or Adabari. This is my fandom kicking in, but if I just stick to this being a whole grade for a whole review for everybody, I don't like the pick. I hope he does well, but I'm just that's my 2 cents on my Bengals. With the 29th pick, the Saints went ahead and got Brian Brisset or Brian Brzee. I like this guy. It's a guy who can play all across the defensive line. Obviously, he was a number 1 player coming out of high school. Dealt with some injuries, dealt with the close loss in the family. So hopefully he's able to get past all of those things and really tap into his potential in the NFL. The Saints have been one of the best defenses for almost a decade, man. And it starts up front. So hopefully he can really show who he is, and if he does, it's going to be hell for the NFC South. 30th pick, the Eagles went ahead and got another Georgia product, the edge linebacker Nolan Smith, who's almost a spitting image or a hybrid version of the guy they got on the opposite side, Hassan Reddick. So I think it's excellent for what they do. They got a lot of big bodies up front. It allows those guys on the ends, on the edge to just get after the quarterback. So I think it's a hell of a pickup for Philly. Salute to y'all, Philly, man. If I was a Philly fan, man, I would feel proud of being a fan. Like, I would be going to work with my chest out. Like, man, I'm proud to work in a city and pay taxes for an organization like this, because they go all out. And so salute to Philly and their organization. I just love what the hell they doing, man. Lastly, the Kansas City Chiefs take Felix Anudike Uzama. Yeah, man, he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, so it's not like he a slouch. Obviously, Kansas State played right in their backyard, so it's interesting. I thought they might have went with Artibari, but I had a feeling that they was going to go trenches, just due to the fact that I think Frank Clark is gone, and obviously they want to pair somebody up with what's my boy from Purdue, Carl Loftus. You got Chris Jones, so they want to continue to get after the quarterback. And it makes perfect sense. He might be a shocker, so we'll see, man. But it's Be So 513. We got more content on the way, man. Let's get it.